And here we are. We are now beginning. Damn, I love this game. Welcome, Comfy Panzer. I love this game too, which is why we're going to be talking about it a lot. Yet, should be coming in. Should be coming in clear. Unfortunately, we're having to emulate the Silent Hill 2 today because my console capture is not cooperating with me. I've always loved how silent the title drop of this is. Like, in Silent Hill 1, 3, and 4, they all have these elaborate introductions. In Resident Evil 1, you have, like, that really famous tracking shot taken from Evil Dead, where they just, like, charge at the camera and go, like, Arr! Silent 2 doesn't have that. It just opens very cold, very quiet, just drops. Always loved it. Sets the mood immediately. The first 3 games, you're in the right place. That is absolutely my stance. The first 3 Silent Hill games are fucking excellent. So, speaking of the first games, this is technically a sequel to the Silent Hill 1 project that we did a couple years back. I can't believe it's been 2 years since we did that. Crystal clear 1080p, hell yeah. There's going to be some minor issues here and there. Yeah, after all, it is Silent Hill. We might do Born from a Wish, who knows. But this is a sequel to Silent Hill 1 in depth, which we did a couple years back. So, like last time, let's quickly set up some ground rules. Number 1, the whole goal of this stream is to discuss, analyze, and debate Silent Hill 2. We're going to be discussing the game under the impression that the viewer has not played it. So, essentially, I'm going to be taking elements from the plot as they are presented to the audience, doing my level best to not talk about later revelations, only in the context of what information you would have if this were a blind playthrough. Chat can spoil whatever the hell they want, like it's chat, and it's, I'm not going to say, oh, you can't talk about this, but for the most part, I'm going to be treating it like I'm talking to someone who has not seen the game before, just so we can talk about how it presents its information to the audience. I think that's kind of interesting. And we're going to be looking at the game itself and what we're going to use for the source of our inspiration. We are not going to watch this because it is full of shit. Let's go to options. For what we're going to use is essentially just in-game information to start with. Also, I'm just going to make sure that my voice is coming in clear. It is 100%. Audio should be balanced. I obsessively was going back and forth over it. But we're going to be using information that we see in the game itself, information from interviews with the actual members of the development staff. We're going to use relevant reading material, and we're going to get back to this. Put an asterisk into relevant reading, because there's some unfortunate stuff we got to cover. And after that, my own analysis interpretations, which... put another asterisk into that. We'll talk about that afterward. First thing, relevant reading. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about Sigmund Freud. Freud's an extremely complicated figure. a little comfy, Pepe. Get comfy, lads. Get comfy. It's going to be a good time. I'll be in and out since I'm working, but I'll still be here. Okay, babe. No worries. It's finally time. I can be cool again. I have AC. Nice. Yeah, it's very warm over here today, but no big deal. But unfortunately, Sigmund Freud, let's get back to that. Sigmund Freud is name-dropped by members of the Silent Hill 2 staff for being an influence, and certain concepts of his are also name-dropped. So, while I'm going to keep my references to Freud to an absolute bare minimum, only to what is immediately relevant, it is going to be an aspect of discussing and analyzing Silent Hill 2. We'll discuss Freud in general later on, and give a very quick, annotated debunk of why people think Freud is wrong now. But the point is, we're going to have to talk about him as we go along. Another thing, asterisk 2, my own readings. Silent Hill 2, unlike 1, leaves a lot more up to the player's own imagination. It's nothing crazy. Like, obviously everyone's heard of the meme of, like, the foreskin crap. That's nonsense. That's insanity. but there's a lot of ambiguity and moral and situational gray area that Silent Hill 2 presents in its scenarios that 1 didn't have. 1 was very esoteric in its presentation, it was very strange, but the answers were all there. 2 deliberately does not answer certain questions. Do you believe that James looking at the camera at the player in the beginning of the game, or looking at himself? We'll talk about that when we get there. Short answer is I think he's looking at himself. Short answer. But we'll talk about that in depth in a second here. But, yeah. That is basically all the major bullet points to cover for starting. Oh, another thing is because it is so interpretive, what I really want here is what does chat think about certain things. Because I am not the end-all to be-all source on Silent Hill 2. I am not the expert. There's a lot of different ways you can read things that are completely contradictory to things that I'm going to say, and they're still just as valid. So I'd actually love to hear chat's thoughts on things as well. So yeah, just kind of encourage that as we go. And the last warning, there's going to be a lot of walk and talk. There's going to be a lot of moments where we're just going to stop like this, like we're doing right now, and nothing's going to happen, and I'm just going to talk into the mic about things. So you've been warned. This is going to be very common as we go forward. Everything is a penis. Next game, but the most infamous question. What is your question? Yeah, so that's basically all I really want to cover for starting. But the first thing to cover about the game itself is we're going to back out and go right back to the menu. So the menu is interesting. All 3 of the games have pretty good title screens, but 2 is my favorite, simply by the virtue of I think this is genuinely important to the game. One of the most common recurring symbols you're going to find in Silent Hill 2 is still, stagnant water. And what the title screen is it's someone looking down at a body of water. You can't see anything beneath it. It's very murky, very still. And that's good. And the idea of like still, murky, stagnant water is an image that's going to come up a lot throughout the game. And I'll make sure to point it out as we go, but we're not going to be getting too deep into what that means until a little later. It's pretty simple what it means. It's very straightforward, but I think it's very interesting that the game hammers that into your skull the second you start. Very cool. I only plan on doing the main scenario, but Born from a Wish is interesting. There's some interesting concepts in it. Stagnant like James's sex life. Dab. Just do a little dab emoji. We'll talk. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to talk a lot about Mr. Sunderland's sex life as we go forward. But yeah, we might do Born from a Wish. I just don't have as much to say about it in comparison to 2. And there's a couple things about it where it's like, this is kind of contradictory to information we're given in the main game. So a lot of it is set up for 3, honestly. Like, there's a lot of thematic ideas that they want to do in 3 that they just kind of put here as a testing bed. But I think if we don't do it, we're not missing anything. We'll wait and see, though. So, yeah, only thing left noting is I didn't show the intro cinematic. Well, one, you have to sit and idle at the screen for a very long time for the intro cinematic to come up, so that takes a while. But the other thing, too, is I think Silent Hill 1's intro cinematic is better. Silent Hill 2 shows a lot of stuff that is just montage from the game you're about to play, whereas in Silent Hill 1, it's all original footage. It's all CG cutscene that is never shown in the main game itself. I think that's very interesting. So I think 1 has the best introduction of any of the games. Which Silent Hill is your favorite? That's a hard one. The default answer is 2, but I think Silent Hill 3 is getting an extremely bad rep these days for no reason. It was the Eye Patch Wolf video. Like, that's probably it, but I think 3 does a lot of things just from a game design standpoint that is pretty interesting. And it's definitely a lot smooth. As far as, like, of the 3 main games go, because everything afterwards is like fan fiction as far as I'm concerned. But of the 3 main Silent Hill games, 3 is the most smooth as a video game. So I definitely respect that. Silent Hill 1 I really appreciate too. Because like Silent Hill 1, one of the things about Silent Hill 1 I really appreciate is that game is genuinely challenging. I mean, obviously I can do it pretty easily now, but Silent Hill 1 is a genuinely challenging game on its first run. And for a survival horror game, that's very important. So I really like that. 2 is the only one where it's a little too easy, even on a first run. Best ones are 2 and 3. I tend to agree with that. I think Silent Hill 1 has a few things that have not aged as well. Like, I think it can be a little weirdly paced at times, and they very clearly in the second half of the game, after Alchemilla, kinda ran out of content. So they're just really recycling the sewers and just grates for the amusement park, and then Nowhere, which is just recycled areas. So you can tell they kind of ran out of steam in a way where I don't think, for instance, 2 runs out of steam for its game design. 2, I think, is, if there's one thing about 2 that's better than the others, it's pacing. This is a perfectly paced video game. Hell yeah, give it to me. Dump all the Silent Hill tism on me. It's coming, lads. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's start.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
Oh my god, yeah. It's like a big load of lore right on my chest. They call it the Shepherd's Steamer. I'm stealing that line. Yep, the music, just perfection. This track is called White Noise. This is unironically one of the most beautifully haunting tracks I've heard in my life. Yamaoka can do some great music in general, like he's still doing good work today. But in terms of making a soundtrack to accompany a work, I don't think he's ever done better than Silent Hill 2. While they may not be the best songs to listen to on their own, like the track I played in the waiting to start of the stream was this kind of two-tone drone sound. And but in context of the scene you see it in, it's so beautiful. I think God, what is the name of that? I think it's like Making Peace is the name of the track I used. I can't remember its name at the moment, but it's hauntingly beautiful. And I think that's how I would describe Yamaoka's work here in general. There's something uncanny, but very welcoming about it. And I love it. Like, it's easily his best work. Listen to them before trying Silent Hill. Like, the music made me play this game. 100%. This music is fantastic. Yeah, I need the Silent Hill tism. You've come to the right place. Oh, welcome to D-Live. I've done a couple D-Live streams, but, you know, I'm kind of using it more as a traditional platform. Really getting into it. But, yeah, let us talk about that opening. So, McCready over here was our boy McCready, our guy. Twilight Princess soundtrack seemed like it tried attempting this kind of music. Yes. The Twilight World music sounds a lot like Yamaoka stuff, and it's good, it works, it doesn't work as well. Akira Yamaoka is the master of drone synth. I'm convinced. I've never heard someone do stuff as good as him. But there's a lot to talk about in this bathroom, believe it or not. Let's do this opening cutscene. So, McCready, Silent Hill talked about music. I want my money back. Well, just give me a second. But McCready, he asked earlier, so is James looking at the player? And it's sort of a way to show us that we are taking control of James? Or is he looking at himself there? there's a lot of ways you can read it. I love this opening, by the way. I think in under 20 seconds, it sets the mood and tone of this game like that. Instantly, you know exactly the kind of experience you're in for. But I think what makes it work is, in my opinion, he is looking at himself. And Takayoshi Sato, he was the character designer for... I think he did, like, the character animation work in Silent Hill 1, like the CG cutscenes. He did the same here, and he did some of the script writing. He helped with it. He had a very interesting philosophy on introductory scenes for the characters, is that in... basically, I forget the specific quote he had, but in under a minute, he wanted you to know exactly who that person was and everything that their entire arc was going to be about. And if you look at every character's introduction in this game, you can learn everything that you need to know about them right there and there alone. Everything afterwards is just elaborating on what we see here. So for James, why I think he's looking at himself is what the scene is trying to convey is James... how do I put this? The best way I can say is James is, when you get there, he's walking up to the mirror, and he's like touching his face, just looking really deeply into it, backs off, has to chill himself out, and then he asks a question. Mary, can you really be in this town? What James's journey is going to be is entirely one of self-reflection. James isn't quite sure the man he is, and he's not quite sure if his goal for being here, which we're going to learn in a few minutes here, because I talk a lot, he's not sure of the legitimacy of that. And there's some other stuff that I could get into, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the game. Essentially, this is a journey of self-reflection. Yeah, he's prepping himself. It's almost as if he knows he's going to learn something that he is not ready to face, so he has to face himself first. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Yeah, am I real? Almost as if he's come here in a daze. Like, is this situation real? Very interesting. I like the way you phrase it. So, from a game design standpoint, what's very interesting is that this room was the very first thing Team Silent designed when making Silent Hill 2. When they were modeling the game, they wanted to make a vertical slice of what their art direction was going to be, so they designed this bathroom. And this is why PS2 was, unfortunately, we have to emulate, due to my PS2 capture kind of just messing up yesterday, actually Saturday, a couple days ago, it messed up, so we're gonna get some texture warping like that. It's not ideal, but it should be fine. Outside of that, in this area, which is the worst example of texture warping in this emulator to my knowledge, it should be fine. But it is interesting is that you kind of get everything the game's art direction goes for in this one section. A very vertical slice style, where it is all about disrepair, decay, and rot. Or, like the water was, stagnation. We'll get to that a little more in a bit here. I gotta flip over my notes. We got a notepad. We gotta flip it over. So, one thing that's very interesting is a lot of people don't really question what the blue graffiti on the wall means. It's mostly because it's very hard to see. You can only make out a few words of it. However, the few words that you can make out when you look at the textures on their own, just as like a flat plane, you can actually infer what these quotes are from. And what they are from, they are biblical quotes. They are quotes from the Book of Job. So let's read this one. This one here, from the King James Version of Job 10:8. Thine hands have made me and fashioned me together round about, yet thou dost destroy me. Let's read this one over here. Job 13:28, and he as a rotten thing consumeth as a garment that is moth-eaten. So I don't think this game has anything to do with Christianity and shit like that. There's a lot of other religions and faith spectrums that get brought in here. We're gonna get some Aztec stuff later on. There's a lot of Shinto in this as well. I kind of have an idea about why there's so much different faith beliefs in there, but I think specifically the reason these two quotes are chosen is for elements we're going to see later. The first one, thine hands have made me and fashioned me together round about, yet thou dost destroy me. It's almost like it's someone cursing their job as a person who, Job. It's pronounced Job, you're right. That's legit, just my bad there. I am sorry. But, yeah, so Job 10:8. Cradle Catholic. But, yeah, but essentially what's happening is, at least what I think it's supposed to reference for the sake of Silent Hill 2. Yeah, it's Job. That was my bad. I completely oversight there. But I think, for the sake of Silent Hill 2, what that means, it's someone who was created by someone else, and that person who created them now seeks to destroy them. And so it's this question of, like, you were trying to destroy me, who you have created. And all I'm going to say for that is, if you look closely at this poster here, that's a character we're going to see later. It's a blonde woman in a pink kind of gown, kind of shirt thing. That is fascinating that we see an image of her right here. If you play the PC port with the fan upgrades, you can see the texture clear as day. It's a little muddy here, but we're going to meet this character later. And the fact that you get a quote like this, like cursing being created, and it's right next to a picture of her, that's interesting. So let's go over to this one. And he is a wrong thing, consumeth as a garment that is moth-eaten. Once again, it's trying to push that rot idea, that decay. But also, it's the first instance of moths being mentioned. Moths are one of the most common reoccurring symbols of Silent Hill 2, like water. In fact, of Silent Hill in general, 1 to 3 all heavily feature moth imagery. So, we're going to be seeing more of it. So, we're going to go to another cutscene. Oh boy. Yeah, so we're just going to watch this and stay tuned for more, because we're going to do some more stop and talk.
In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said, Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. So then, why am I looking for her? Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place. Does she mean the park on the lake? We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us, staring at the water. Could Mary really be there? Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
So I love that reading. In my opinion, that is the best vocal delivery that James's voice actor Guy C gives in the entire game. That's easily the best delivery he gives for anything. It's extremely heartfelt. Love that shit. What is your YouTube? I want to watch, but I have stuff to do. I will go link my channel. Just a second here. I will copy. Let's go to restream. Oh, I've had? I'll pop back later or rewatch your stream. Hey, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. We're actually gonna try and cut these up into smaller episodes after, because I'm recording as I'm streaming. So I'm gonna cut this up into smaller chunks that are a little more manageable. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's see. Let us move around. There we go. I also love the hum here. It is so menacing. Let's go in our pause menu. Let's look at our what options we have. Awesome. Hell yeah. So, photo Mary. Photo from when she was still healthy. There's Mary. Looking forward to it. Hey, thanks. Thanks for stopping by, man. So, there's a picture of Mary, our wife. We're going to be looking at that a couple more times. There's a few interesting details. And a letter from Mary. That's definitely Mary's name in her own handwriting in front of the envelope. And it is the letter we just read. Oh boy, so there's a little bit we're going to have to go over. Let's talk about the cutscene first. So, James's motivation is he received this letter despite the fact that his wife, Mary, died 3 years ago of something. They never say what the disease that she had was. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like, it's probably like cancer or something, but I don't think it really matters, ultimately. I think it's just supposed to be the impetus for why he's here. But what's kind of interesting about Silent Hill 2 is that this game starts in medias res in a way, where in Silent Hill 1, 3, and 4, there's some moment where the hero starts in the quote-unquote waking world, or you get a glimpse of it. In Silent Hill 1, you get the CG opening of Harry driving to Silent Hill. In Silent Hill 3, Heather begins in the normal world in a mall. Silent Hill 4, you don't quite get it, but you do get, it's much you get more of an overlap between reality and sort of the Silent Hill world, so you get glimpses of it. Silent Hill 2, you don't get that. It's the only one of the 4 developed by Team Silent, where James essentially starts in his nightmare right off the bat. I think that's a very interesting distinction for this one. And also, there's a motif in Silent Hill 1, 3, and 4 of characters waking up. Harry wakes up from the car crash in the fog world. Heather wakes up from her nightmare, and then the game begins. Same thing goes with Henry. I always forget his name. He's a forgettable character. But every time there's a motif of them waking up into it. James doesn't have that. James is awake. He's already in the nightmare. We're already starting. Very interesting. Extremely interesting distinction. Let's try leaving. This is the road I came in on. There's no point going back. So, another thing that separates James from basically everyone else. He can leave. There's nothing stopping him from leaving at any time. Keep that in mind as we go forward. But, talking about that cutscene, letter's interesting. Yeah, yep. I love that. There's a reason. I love that. He can leave at any time. We're going to be checking this letter a few more times. It actually has some interesting contextual details that we're going to go over as the game goes. Yeah. My just Jigsaw voice. Oh, James. I want to play a game. I'm like a fog town, right? There's a bear trap on your head. It's funny, right? Like, yeah. Key in the guy's stomach. Go get it. But very interesting. Another thing is people usually laugh and make fun of the setup here. Yeah, foreshadow. Exactly. Keep that in mind as heavy foreshadowing that he can leave at any time. Chooses not to. But people always kind of make fun of the setup of, oh, why would you go search for your wife after 3 years and you know for a fact she's dead? Like, wouldn't your first thought be that this is someone just playing a really mean joke on you? And the answer is yes. That is completely fucking irrational. That is a terrible decision James is making. But, yeah, just remember, you are what you eat. The game begins now. But, the thing is, I've never understood the obsession with people making their YouTube channels or like making blog posts about how if every character just made this hyper rationalist specific decision at every point, then there would be no horror movie. You know, they'd win. It's like, yeah, because there'd be no fucking story. So shut up. But on the other hand, I think we can infer from the way James is like wistfully talking about Mary, about spending time with his wife, from the way that he has completely hastily parked his car. Like, let's go get the map. Let's just get the map. Yeah, James, he just leaves it. You don't do anything with the car. So from the way he's, like, hastily parked his car... Yeah, you don't go to Silent Hill because you're stable. It's almost as if James is in a really bad place after his wife died and he's fucking grieving or something. It's almost as if that's the case. And it's like, the Book of Lost Memories comments that his job is like a clerk, like a shipper and receiver or something. So I think the idea is supposed to be, and at least this is what I got, I think it's pretty obvious, but the idea is James doesn't have fuck all going on in his life. So it's like for the past 3 years, this has been it. There's times where the argument of, wow, it's dumb and it's irrational is just dumb. From what I think, I know, he's green, he jumped at any chance to sit all Syrian. Exactly. It's like, he knows it's stupid, he knows this is irrational, but I think the idea is, like, he's ditching his car, he refuses to leave. And if I'm being honest, I don't think it's a coincidence the car is overlooking the lake. I don't think that's a coincidence. Like, I'm pretty sure if this is it, if, like, let's say it's just a joke, someone's just playing a prank on him, I think James ain't going back either way, if you know what I mean. I think this is kind of it for him. As grim as that sounds. And the game doesn't say it, but I think the context clues make it pretty obvious. When a wife dies, it's basically the same thing as taking your life. Yeah, it's like, his life was fucking shattered by that. Of course he's gonna still be grieving. Oh boy. So, yeah, that's just, I've always seen people who make fun of this setup, saying, oh, it's so stupid, why is James so stupid? It's, come on. Have some fucking empathy, god damn it. Alright, so let's talk about dreams. This is one of the things that we're going to have to set up going forward for what we're going to be looking at and how we're going to be analyzing some of the imagery in this game. So, as we spoke about in Silent Hill 1 in depth, what happens in Silent Hill, both the fog world and the other world, is a dream, quote unquote. It's essentially, it's whatever supernatural presence is in the town, because there is one. This game does delve into some occult ideas as well, so there's clearly something spooky and supernatural going on. That's clear. But essentially, whatever is there, it is dragging people into its world and playing off of their own subconscious. It's using, essentially, whoever the current victim or source of the nightmare is. Yeah, I'd say, like, wait until your wife dies, think of horror. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, man. Like, I think the game gives enough context clues that James' life kind of sucks outside of this, so whatever. But, yeah. But like last time, essentially whatever is here is in the town is pulling people into this nightmare world and using their mind, their baggage, their subconscious as a weapon against them. Now the question is why? I didn't answer that when we did Sound 1. I think there's enough evidence either way that you can make your own any number of answers about why it does it. I have my own. We'll talk about it more as we get to the end when you get some more context clues. But since we explained it last time, I will repeat the quote from the Team Silent written Silent Hill strategy guide. The quote from the guide, the name is Silent Hill Kashiki Guidebook Kazeban. For the sake of convenience, this will be referred to as the right side and the reverse side. The right side being the fog world, and the reverse side being the other world, the nightmare kind of world. It will be referred to as the right side and the reverse side in this book. In the same way that a person normally repeats REM sleep, and that's rapid eye movement sleep, and non-REM sleep in regular cycles while he or she is sleeping, when the nightmare world approaches a deeper darkness, i.e. sleep, a phenomenon occurs in which light is almost completely taken away, and the world shifts into an even deeper nightmare, as the cycle shifts again. As for the right side and the reverse side, in short, it isn't that one is reality and one is a dream. The fact is that neither is reality. So, I've always kind of found it interesting how this guidebook for the first game kind of just spells out everything people have been arguing about for decades. And it's like, oh, well, that's the answer. Huh. So, Silent Hill is a dream, and dream analysis can be used to interpret events to fit and explain James as a person. The idea is, what we're going to see is James's mind on display throughout the entire game. So we're going to be using the information from the environment to kind of form a picture of who this guy is. Now, there's two ideas for dream analysis that are really basic that I think kind of apply here. Essentially, individuals subconsciously work through their waking life issues in their dreams, and symbols are the language of dreams, and symbols hold specific meaning to the dreamer. So, it's one of the reasons why I'm really hammering in, this is a recurring image, this is a recurring symbol, is because it's going to mean something to James. But we'll get to that. So, yeah, that is the little dream preamble. Let us go. It has been almost 40 minutes, and we have not left the parking lot. I warned you all. I warned you all. I can't go any further by car. Guess I'll have to walk. Alright, so we gotta take a long way around, looks like. So this is either an issue or intentional. Like, it could just be an error on Team Silent's part, but even if it is a mistake, I think this is actually kind of clever bit. This is a kind of a clever little way to show you're not in Kansas anymore, sweetie. So, essentially, the road sign here is this, okay, Paleville, 10 miles away. Old Silent Hill, 50 miles away. Brahms, 265 miles away. So, anyone who's played Silent Hill 1 will tell you the Brahms one is nonsense. Because Brahms is described as the next town over from Silent Hill. And you're telling me the next town over is 265 miles away? That's nonsense. Same thing goes with Old Silent Hill. Like, alright, so we got Toluca Lake. So at the very top where you see the Lakeside Amusement Park is, just north of that, is Old Silent Hill. That's where the first game takes place. And you're telling me that Old Silent Hill is 50 miles away? That's probably barely even 10, maybe 15. 50? That's insanity. And I think that's intentional. It could just be an error, who knows, but I think the idea is supposed to be, it is nonsense dream logic. Any real direction and real measurement has gone out the window. We're purely in the fantastical now. So, this white van is actually pretty interesting. If we did watch the CG opening, there are two characters we're going to meet later that came to Silent Hill, presumably in this van. And what makes it more interesting is if we back up, it's under the sign for Pete's Bolorama. And these two characters that I'm talking about are seen together later at the bowling alley. This exact one. So, very interesting attention to detail. And we're off. Alright. Get your map. Oh, I got the map. I have the map. To my knowledge, the game does not let you leave without the map. Oh, I love this walk through the forest. So spooky. This nonsense dream logic gonna get me acting up. It's gonna get me tilted. I just want to go on vacation. Also, welcome Wild Potato. We have spent 40 minutes talking about wall textures in a bathroom and old strategy guide quotes. Off to the races today we are. So, this opening was designed to be long enough to dissuade you from turning back without getting too tedious. Because the idea is, like, we are just constantly going down this winding path, and the fog is getting deeper and deeper. You hear something running in the background. It's trying to dissuade you from going back, and kind of give you a reason not to, the way James doesn't want to. Let's look down the well. There's something in the well. What's that? Looking at this makes me feel like someone's groping around inside my skull. Gives me a weird feeling. Alright, so let's just ignore that. Alright, so what is interesting about the save points is there's a save point later that people have been arguing about, like, what does this mean? You damn, 40 minutes just talking about bathroom textures? You really are an average Silent Hill enjoyer. I am the average fan of Silent Hill. You know, just right in the middle. Yeah, it's kind of middling, kind of the median. But what is interesting is that also, like what we got in the first image of the game, the mirror, every time you save the game, James has to look back at himself. Like, he has to reflect more on himself as he is getting more information as the game goes on. Very interesting. I have some idea. I have a weird idea about what the big save point means, but we'll get there when we get there. And away we go. Alright, so we will once again be shutting off the mic here because we get a character introduction. Let's see if we can just get an image. Aha! There she is. So, it is kind of interesting that you can already see her just crouching by a headstone, even before you start the cutscene proper. That is kind of nice. And it's hard to see because, like, she's kind of hiding behind one of the headstones, so if you're just kind of like walking in, the camera doesn't really make a big deal out of it.
Excuse me,
I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
just...
okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Yeah. I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But
Yes?
I think you'd better stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Is it dangerous?
maybe. And it's not just the fog either.
Okay,
It's...
I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
I'm looking for someone.
Who is it?
Someone very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry. It's not your problem.
I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
Alright, so that is our introduction to Angela. We won't know her name for a bit. That lost sounded pretty interesting. That inflection was intended. Okay, so welcome, Rick. We're going to talk about that in a second. That's 100% intentional. I have another thing to say about the voice acting that makes me unwelcome in the Silent Hill fan community. Yeah, I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. So there's a lot to cover. I'll just respond, chat. Claudette mains. Claudette! But, yeah, Mom went out for cigarettes. She'll be back any day now. They motion captured the scene together. Every cutscene in this game is motion captured, to my knowledge. Which, for the sake of the animation, lost. Fucking lost. But for the sake of animation, I actually think that helps a lot. Silent Hill 2 came out in 2001. Like, let's compare other games. I've been here this whole time. Good luck. Oh, you've been here for this whole time? Goddamn. Yeah, good luck. So that means you are here for our 30-minute long wall texture spiel. Amazing. The Lost, they referencing Binding of Isaac. No, Isaac! But, I think, because again, look at the competition in 2001, what the games looked like. I think that's one of the reasons, except James and Angela's last scene together, and you can tell, they actually did motion capture that. They did. There's footage of that scene being motion captured. That 100%. Like, even if they didn't use the motion captured version in the game, they did at least shoot it. I have seen Guy Seehee and Donna Burke do that scene. But, alright, so, granted, like, as I was saying, like, this kind of sets, it's one of the reasons I think this game's animation work has kind of stood the test of time. It's that almost all of it, to my knowledge, is motion captured. Yeah, for 2001, this game's astonishing. And granted, a lot of that is due to a relatively simplistic and intentionally very dirty art style, which helps mask some of the texture work. But in general, this game looks amazing for when it came out. Alright, so let's get to the cutscene itself. I don't think it is any coincidence the first area in the game that you go and the first area you meet Angela in is Graveyard. You can't tell me that's not intentional. What's kind of interesting about that opening is when I was playing with the missus, and she made an interesting point how it's like Angela goes up to the grave, walks away, and then instantly comes back and is just kind of like shelling herself up as she does so. It's almost like she can't leave that headstone. And she's not leaving. Again, let's go talk to her again. So.
What is it?
Oh. Nothing. Sure is quiet here, huh?
I guess.
I love Easter eggs like that. But, so, this is kind of our introduction to Angela's character, where, let's see if we can get, like, a, kind of a good look all around. She's very hunched over, kept tight in, shells herself up. It's a great way to, like, visually show that off. It's also, like, here's the thing. The second she sees James, though, at the headside, she's just instantly terrified at the sight of this guy. But she apologizes to him for it. it's the first thing out of her mouth is just a scream of terror, and then, oh no, I'm sorry. And then, as Rick pointed out, it's like that lost inflection. It's almost like she's accusing him of something. It's very accusatory. It's like, you're lost, you say? Keep that in mind. Angela will go back and forth between mortal terror and extreme distrust of James. So just keep that in mind. We're going forward, that's going to be something. Another thing worth noting is her demeanor and her word choice is extremely childlike as the entire conversation is going on. Where it's very simplistic word choices and diction mixed with some very unbecoming responses. Like when James says, I'm sure of it, like, oh yeah, town's dangerous, I'm sure of it. First response out of her mouth is like, I'm not lying. It's extremely juvenile. So that's something worth noting about her. Oh boy, so here's where we get to... Oh, another thing. Why does good guy James Sunderland gotta be such a sussy baka, though? God, it's not like I like you or anything, baka. But another thing worth noting is when... Yeah, it's a law, walk and talk. I apologized earlier, but it is. But when she's mentioning, oh, you know, I thought my father and my brother would be here too, but... She, like, instantly touches the headstone, like, almost subconsciously. Wonder what that's supposed to imply. Let's go. So, once again, we're gonna go on our path. This is kind of where I get one of my more hot takes on the game, I guess. I think the voice acting is a complete mixed bag. I understand what they were going for. I get it. Like, the idea is supposed to be James, Angela, and the rest of the cast, as we meet them, are all fucking weirdos. There's something very clearly off about each and every one of them. And I get that. I understand what they went for. In that regard, they succeeded. Where is it? Where's my New Game Plus weapon? Yeah! Is this a pop quiz? Because I think it's implying that they're both dead. I mean, it's not really a pop quiz. It's mostly just like, hey, man, there's a lot of this game that you can come to your own conclusions on. So, you can come to your own conclusions. Alright, so let's just swing this piece of crap around. This weapon sucks, but it's funny. It kind of sucks, but whatever. It is funny. But, I don't know, like, I think the problem is they went overboard, where they're kind of overacting the entire thing. And it comes across as completely alien and kind of silly. Like, I will admit, there's a bit of a cringe curve when it comes to some of the voice acting, especially that first scene. Where it's like, can you talk like a normal person? And I get what the idea, the argument that people who defend the voice acting say is it's supposed to be weird. It's supposed to be uncanny. I think you can make an uncanny atmosphere with voice acting without the voice acting sounding completely alien, like Tommy Wiseau shit. And my response to that is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories has quite good voice acting. It's a great ensemble cast. They all do a good bang-up job. I think what made it, though, is they sound like normal, everyday people in completely impossible scenarios. And that's what makes the uncanny atmosphere there. I thought it worked quite well. The voice acting made her seem like she had an attachment to him. Interesting. I've never heard that idea, but maybe there's something there as we go forward. Who knows? Maybe as we learn more about Angela. So this is the infamous Silent Hill Ranch. This sign in the HD collection, for whatever reason, they couldn't get this font to recreate it. So instead of getting literally any other font on planet Earth, They got Comic Sans. I don't know why. They could have gotten literally anything else. They could have gotten Veranda. They could have gotten Dante MT. They could have gotten fucking Times New Roman. They got Comic Sans. Don't ask me why. Less we talk about the HD collection, the better. Not just the voice acting, the lines too. Which is weird, because like I think this game... What is the symbolic lore of Comic Sans? The symbolic lore of Comic Sans is that we were all played fools. It's meta, you know? It's like, oh, you thought you were gonna get just a basic port? Yeah, Silent Hill Ranch really rocks. 18 naked cowboys heading down to Silent Hill Ranch. 18 pyramid heads with hard knives ready to fuck your nurse monsters. Silent Hill Ranch. Which is weird, because, like, I think that first scene is probably the worst bit of the writing in the game, honestly. I think it's way too on the nose. Which is weird, because, like, I thought the first scene where he was reading the letter was quite good. Oh, the HD collection. This is not the HD collection. We are emulating, but I would have been playing on original hardware. Like, I will play literally any other port but the HD collection. That thing is a travesty. I will never not be mad. It has been 10 years, and I am still mad about the HD collection. So, here's the thing, is that, well, I think Silent Hill 2, like, ultimately, I would call the voice acting in this game a success, since, at the end of the day, for all my grievances, it does do what it was intended to do, and create a weird, uncanny atmosphere. I don't know, right? Like, I think it could have been done better. However, I think everyone in the game, even who I think is the weakest link of the voice actors, unfortunately, Guy Seehee, I think he is the weakest of the cast. I think all of them have moments to shine, and Guy Seehee has some moments where I think he gives some genuinely great delivery. And this is also including Monica Taylor Horgan, who is a voice actress we will hear later in the game, who, without exaggeration, gives my favorite voice acting performance in a video game. I think she knocks it completely out of the park. So yeah, it's a complete mixed bag. The person who does the voice of Mary gives top-notch performance. Monica Taylor Horgan, she is unironically my favorite performance in a video game, which is weird, because I just spend a lot of time shit-talking this, but I think she completely knocks it out of the park. I still have my PS1 copy of Silent Hill 1, and PS2 copies of 2 and 3. Same here. I also have the PC copy of Silent Hill 3, and both of them come with a soundtrack, which is really cool, actually. And you get some narration that you don't hear in the games for some of the occult readings. It's very cool shit. I really like the soundtrack, actually. But yeah, moving on. Only have we'll get to the next line in a second here. Nani? Are these marks blood? That shadow just now. I also actually have the Restless Dreams for the Xbox, which again, that's another really good port. There's one thing that port does better than the original, and that is the flashlight. The way it has the actual properly angled lighting is very nice. I really like that. So, that's just me though. Alright, well, let's follow that blood. In general, though, if I had to say what's my definitive edition, it's one of the PS2 versions. I know the fan PC mod has gotten a lot of support. I still think it's kind of a pain in the ass to set up, and when it doesn't want to work, fucking work, it is the finickiest thing to deal with. But the Silent Hill 2 PC port is also abandonware, which means it's legally free. There's no reason to not play that version if you're trying to be, you know, ethical with your consumption. But I'm not exactly concerned about certain people not getting money for this game anymore. I had fun, lol. I think the Restless Dreams for the Xbox is a good port. Genuinely, like, if you have to have original hardware. I think it's second only to the PS2 original. And even then, it does the angled lighting with a flashlight better. So, I think it is a perfectly good port. If you haven't seen Digital Foundry's episode on Silent Hill 2, I'd highly recommend it. He goes down all the differences. Fucking fog killers. No skill, I swear. Worst sacrifice in the game. Welcome, Wiggle. We're playing more of that Silent Hill 2. We are an hour in, and we've barely made progress, because we're talking a lot. Alright, well, it's game time. And I missed. Alright, whatever. Eat it.
Is it dead? What the hell is it? It's not human. Oh, yeah. This thing broken? What the? I'd better take it anyway. I might need it.
So, this scene is extremely interesting on a replay. Let's read chat. Always steal Konami games. It's always the ethical choice. Exactly. And if I ever meet anyone who actually worked on this, I'll probably give them like a 20. Spawn them a 20 and be like, hey man, hey, look, listen, alright? I stolen a lot of your shit over the years. Here you go. They'll probably just look at me like I'm a fucking asshole, but whatever. It'll be funny. It'll be for memes. I will Konami one day on the pachinko machine. I'm gonna have to play the pachinko, Sano. I'm gonna have to do it one day. I need to know. Could it be a zombie? That is a lion figure. We'll talk about the lion figure in a second here, but the radio was really interesting there. That's kind of the most interesting aspect of that scene, in my opinion. So, the thing about the radio is, James instantly assumes it's broken. However, when he picks it up and kind of tunes it, he can hear something. He can hear some voice speaking to him. One, if you've beaten the game, you know that voice. But two, what's really interesting is the last line that the radio says, you can actually make out exactly what it's saying if you listen closely enough. And it's very interesting how on that line, James hears it right up to his ear, turns the radio off and says, yeah, I might need this, who knows. You just admitted it was broken, but you're taking it with you. And you only turn it off right after that. Interesting. You can make out what it says. But because I want this to be a little easier on the ears for everyone, we're gonna turn that radio off. We don't need it. We're just gonna make it easy listening experience. So let's go talk about the lion figure. Let's go see a couple of them. Pachinko review. I don't know, man. I'll let everyone know if I ever play it, but I'm not reviewing. I'm putting any effort into that piece of shit. I just need to know. What does it play like? What is it? I could go there, but I don't really need it. We're fine. There we go. Let's get a good look at him go. This is a lion figure. So what we have is like this person like bound in flesh. Just kind of, but you can get like very human defined legs. Like that's one, That's one thing you can see about the lion figure really hard, is that they have these very humanoid legs. And almost have like these like calf-high boots that they're wearing at the same time. And as you saw in that cutscene, they do have a very defined human ass. However, everything torso up, it's this sickly, bloated monster. Like, yeah, you can kind of see, like, they have a defined ass, which is weird, but... Is there an emulation of the pachinko? I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm gonna have to find out. I need to know. Ouch. And as you can see, the spit is their attack. Like, that's how they're trying to hurt you. But you have this sickly thing walking towards you. So, essentially, going behind the creator's curtain for a bit, almost every single design for the monsters in this game is feminine. Intentionally feminine. And this is supposed to be a feminine... I almost want to put it out of its misery. Yes, exactly. It's like, this thing is clearly suffering and a lot of pain. It's writhing, it's just sick. I played Sunderland 2 when I was too young for it. Now I got a thing for legs. Thanks, Masahiro Ito. Me too. So, yeah, bonk it. Hell yeah, bop it. Twist it. Pull it. Alright, so... What is interesting about these things especially is that sometimes when you knock them to the ground, as we're going to see later, they will do this horrible writhing animation. But what's worth noting about the lion figure is that it is a feminine monster that has defined legs, appears to be some sort of boot, and is always, like, throwing up. It's always... Yeah, hell yeah. Pop it, dude. It's always, like, throwing up. So there's a couple ways you can read what the vomit is. However, I think more than the others we're going to see, that is a pretty interesting stand-in for Mary. Because let's not forget, like, she was sick for however long and died of it. So I don't think that's an accident. Hidetaka Miyazaki fans, hold our beer. Nah, dude, the FromSoft guys, they only do feet, for whatever reason. It's like, it's always that one dude, because if he's not, I forget his name, but if he's not working on the art direction, you will get no weird feet shit. But if he's there, you're gonna get it. And it's every single game they make. I don't understand it. We have singled that man out. So yeah, that's kind of the line figure. I can't say much more, because obviously spoilers, but for the general gist of it, it's, I think, supposed to be emblematic of James' view of his wife towards her final days. Too bad I can't read it because the surface has been rubbed away. Remains of swamp. Of land swamp. His monument was originally swamp, but was later fit. So you kind of get it, but one of the things that's kind of interesting is this is the first instance we're going to get of blocked out text. And to my knowledge, you can get this filled, but in general, like, I think it's just there to kind of add mood and spookiness, especially this one. This one does not strike me as very important, and we'll talk more about the notes in Silent Hill 2 in general. I have some ideas about what the notes are here for, and the answer is not the main plot, but we'll talk more about it as we go. Let's go this way. And let's get a health item. Ah, I took some damage. Why the hell not? Hey. And speaking of what I was talking about when they're knocked down, let's see if we can trigger one. There we go. Look at him go! Damn, you're tough. There we go. Get out of here. Alright, so we're going to see something very interesting in a second here. We're going to do our best to pay attention because it's a camera angle that after you pick up the item here, you will never see again. Let's take a look. Notice anything about this guy? Well, that jacket and pants combo sure looks familiar, and those shoes look like something I've seen. Not gonna lie, I probably beat that monster to death that much of an expression. I don't know, man. They're pretty gross. And also, if they existed, like if I just opened my door right now and I saw a lion figure there just going like, I'd probably kind of have a bad day. It'd probably ruin my afternoon. That's just me. But this looks familiar, and this is the first of a trope that we will see. Is this the meme? Is this loss? But this is the first that you're gonna see of something of a repeated trope in this game. This is James Sunderland. This is a mangled version of his body. And almost every corpse model, not all of them, there's some that aren't, but almost every corpse model in this game is James Sunderland. Got the apartment gate key, and you can never see that image again. James doesn't react to this, by the way. Interesting. Very interesting. First, I'd probably be freaked out. Sooner or later, I'd be used to it. Yeah, probably. All right, so can we see something? Can we see something? Show a little something. Want to show a little something to the audience? All right. There we go. It's gonna change. So the traffic lights actually do change. Okay, 1 minute. I'll catch up in chat in a second here. The traffic lights change. I really appreciate that. It's such an... if you find other traffic lights, which hopefully we'll do, the lights themselves will change too, not just the walk signals. Very interesting. So when do you think Silent Hill 2 is set? Like, in terms of date? I always assumed it was, like, the 1970s, kind of like Jacob's Ladder. I guess it's sort of whenever AD. I think it has to be set in a time when home VHS is a viable option for capturing home movies. That's the big distinction for me. It has to be set in a time where home VHS is common. Like, James has a very old car. Like, that looks like something out of the 50s. Come on, dude. Running in the fog is unhealthy. Imagine, just think of how humid Silent Hill would be with all that mist. You know, I've always liked to imagine Silent Hill is like nothing. Like, there's no humidity. There's no water pressure. There's nothing. I've always liked to imagine it that way. 90s, I think it's got to be either 80s or 90s for the sole purpose of VHS tapes have to be common enough to where you can just make home movies without thinking about the consequences. And bam. Let's get the other guy. So I can see 70s since everything kind of has that. I saw a person drive around a car that looks like from the 50s the other day. Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like, this game has that kind of ambiguous time frame. However, god damn it. Go away, I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to show off gameplay. Get back here. Get over here. Alright, so let's just knock this guy out of the park. Get out of here. Just moving air and fog, but no breeze. Yeah, like, I think, like, there's the sound of it. Oh, man. Yeah, it's you. Why the hell not? Ow. There we go. Get rid of you. Come on. Cooperate. I'm trying to show things off for the audience. But, yeah, like, I always kind of figured it felt like nothing. There's no breeze. There's no humidity. There's nothing. That's always kind of how I saw it. But I can see 70s. I can see it since VHS it wasn't common, but it was in the early stages of development. So I can see, like, mid-70s, definitely. I would assume, like, late 80s, early 90s. That's kind of my assumption. So this is interesting. It's another James corpse. This one left a bunch of notes, though. Let's read these. There's a memo pad on the ground. I'm gonna write everything that I've learned so far. Maybe that'll help you out somehow. If you're reading this, it probably means I'm already dead. Torn memos on the ground. I saw those demons. They were there, I'm certain. But my best friend says he didn't see anything. If that's true, does that mean that what I saw was an illusion? But whether that demon that ate human beings was real, or whether it's some kind of hallucination that my mind dreamed up, one thing I know for sure is that I'm beyond all hope. So that's interesting. This is an easily missable set of tutorials. We're going to get to the tutorial part of it in a second. However, what makes that super interesting is this is the first mention in the game that not everyone is going to see the same things. Not everyone sees the same things. Sometimes not everyone sees anything. This is the first mention of it in the entire game. Very cool. It seems that they're attracted to the light. That's why people who need light to see are their natural prey. They also react strongly to sound. If you want to go on living, you'd be better off just sitting in the dark and staying quiet. But even that probably won't save you. So the tutorial for that is, if you turn off the flashlight, you can usually sneak around enemies. There is a minor stealth element in this game. I never use it. I've never seen anyone use it. Moving on. If you're going to try and fight them, the most important thing is to relax. It's dangerous to fire a gun while you're all crazy with fear. Take good aim, and squeeze the trigger. And don't forget to finish them off. I think most of those creatures can be killed, even if they are tougher than people. I don't think people die in Silent Hill per se. They just come lost in it, tortured forever. Oh, we'll get there. There's at least one person who sure fucking dies there. It says recordable VHS tapes for early 80s, late 70s. Okay, interesting. Okay, so late 70s is possible if you can make home videos in late 70s. That's actually possible. Alright, interesting. Run away. So, this is a... Well, now, let's turn pages. Let's turn my pages in my little outline. My note book. Alright, there we go. So, this is a recurring image we see in the game. If you've seen, like, black mold fumigation done, these are the tarps that they use. And we're going to be seeing a lot of these white stained tarps everywhere. But the point right now is no street would look like this. This is nonsense. And that is intentional. Let's move on. There's one more place we gotta go. There's one more thing we gotta do. Then we can actually start the dungeon proper. There's some use for it later on when you get to someone's big draggable thingy and walk around, darken a certain labyrinth. Lion figures will not attack you. Okay. Oh, that is interesting. Okay, we're gonna have to try that. That's interesting. But yeah, we're gonna see. 'Cause that sounds interesting. I've never seen that. I've never done that. You gotta turn off the radio. Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, noise attracts them. So, this is Neely's Bar. So as you can see, the windows here covered up in some kind of newspaper. Trying to talk here. Alright, well, let's go inside. There's a map here. That's the objective. Copied it onto my own map. So yeah, if we didn't get the key, he would have copied that onto the map, and that would have been your indication where the key to the apartment even is. The game kind of assumes that you would just come in and run around and try all the buildings. Missed most of the stream now, but I'm very nearly done with my candied nectarines. Hell yeah. So, we are in Neely's Bar, but let's look at probably the single most famous image in the game. So, people have been arguing about this one statement. There was a hole here. It's gone now. Yeah, there we go. Notice how holes in all caps? There was a hole here. It's gone now. Oh, anything else? Anything else? Nope. This is the dog house of 2. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no dog here, doghouse. This is probably the single most famous image in Silent Hill 2. And this one's much less memey, so let's talk a little bit about it. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to spoil some later information, because even in-game, the information you see is completely blink and you'll miss it. So, let's say there's a hole in this window. Like, let's go with this example. There's a hole here, alright? And let's say they just covered it up using newspaper. Just plastered newspaper everywhere. That is a terrible cover for a hole in a glass window. You're gonna know it's there, because you just see the newspaper covering it all the time. It's not going to be an effective cover. It's not going to fix the problem. It's just going to barely keep it out of sight. But in the back of your head, you're always going to know that there is a hole here. Even if you think it's gone now, it's not. It is a poor covering of something that is now missing in your life. So let's talk about the location that this is found in. Later on, we're going to have James examine some liquor bottles, and he's going to express how, when his wife was in the hospital, he picked up a drinking habit because he just needed some time to get away from the loneliness of the situation. And I think what's happening here is the town is specifically mocking him. It's putting this message here in the middle of an abandoned bar about a poorly covered hole that it's gone now. Yeah, it's like, I don't think it's literal. I don't think it's supposed to be literal. I think this is all supposed to be allegory. It's this poorly covered gap, this hole in things, that is fixed, quote unquote. The paper windows were done in the 19th century. And I'll make sure to point out the line when we get to it, but I think it is supposed to be something making fun of him. There's a hole here is actually a symbolic reference for being vented. This ties back to the themes of some folks coming to Silent Hill for being sus. Silent Hill is very forward-thinking. Could you fucking imagine if they added, like, a Pyramid Head skin to Among Us? They would do it. They would license this game out for like $2. Put them in. Put Pyramid Head in Among Us. Put them in Fortnite. Put them in, I don't know. Put them in everything. just do it. Do it, you cowards. You know you want to. Alright, so let's just go get a couple more resources, then we'll go do the dungeon. It has been nearly an hour and a half, and something that should take 30 minutes. Oh yeah. I'll wait at bar, Neely's. Interesting. The camcorder was announced in 1982, which is probably the first majorly received personal recording software. There were earlier, heavier versions. Okay, so it must be a camcorder that he's using in the context of the scene that we are seeing a home movie being filmed with. We'll see it later, but there's context. Konami would license him for half a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter. God, all right, I'm telling you, I'm gonna try and see if I can talk to a representative of Konami, and we're gonna put him in Gator Man. We're gonna license Pyramid Head for Gator Man. It's gonna happen. Just you wait. Ugh, gross. Now, if I remember correctly, there should be some handgun bullets around here. They will give the IP to anyone on the two conditions that one, it isn't Kojima, and two, they don't make a game. Yeah, if you make like first-person Pac-Man, and you can add Pyramid Head to it, you can put him in. That's cool. If you make a horror video game, go fuck yourself. That's stupid. How dare you put him in? Yeah, one last thing. Almost forgot. One last thing to look at. Ah! Alright, so when we get into the apartment, we're going to do the first of our unfortunately mandatory Sigmund Freud talks. The door that wakes in darkness, opening into nightmares. It's locked. But that's a game, Doom. You were there, Bob. You saw it. You saw... what is it? Monsters, Immortals, Dark Deception? You saw that game.